My name is Sarah Catherine Watkins, and this is my presentation for Theater Appreciation. Here is my badge, so you can see that I go to the W. It's a terrible picture. Anyway, so I actually had a topic picked, and then I was looking at the topics, and I found one that I thought might be a little bit more interesting, and one that I didn't necessarily have a lot of information on because I didn't even know it was a thing until I did research. Okay, so I picked theater and museums, and I have a list of 6 different things that I was going to specifically talk about that has to do with museum and theater and museums, and I have 6 different sources, and some of these sources I actually got vocabulary words from, so I'm going to go over some of those through this presentation. One woman named Elizabeth Merritt, who was doing some research on theater and museums, wrote and said, "We found that when museums and theater work together, they produce an art engagement that is greater than what either can do alone." So she found that when you applied theater to museums, that people became more engaged with what was going on and wanted to actually know more about history because of seeing the live performance or seeing a reenactment of this time period or this, like a certain thing that they were having going on at the museum. Okay, also, I'm going to go over a definition, and the definition is museum theater, because I wanted to give you the specifics on what it has to do with. And the definition for this is the use of theater and theatrical techniques by a museum for educational, informative, and entertainment purposes. So they can use theater as a way to reenact something that they can't necessarily do just by looking at it. You know, they actually have people that will come in and give you more information by becoming a character or becoming a person from that time period, which makes everything come more to life and more fun to even know about. Also, one of the things that I found while I was doing research is that live art in a museum is also considered a type of theater. And I was going to go into detail a little bit about one time when I was in New Orleans, which was the first time I'd ever went. I actually saw this performance where this man was at a museum and he was painted gold and he was sitting on a pedestal, but he couldn't move. He was just stood still, but sometimes he'd move his arm, and I thought that was really cool that they put him into the museum and made him a part of all the art that was already there. Another thing I wanted to go over was the contrast of theater and museum. One of my sources considered theater to be more fiction, whereas museums would be have more authority and truth and be more about history. So I thought it was cool that even though they contrasted with each other, they still go hand in hand because it is still fun to watch people reenact certain things. One of the vocabulary words that I found was a thing called live interpretation, which is any live real-time interaction between staff and visitors at a cultural institution. This includes many living history type activities ranging from non-custom demonstration of historical craft to storytelling and custom first and third person interpretation. Activities such as tour guides, educational workshops, theater performance, and demonstrations are considered live interpretation. So this is when you go and you can see a live performance. In conclusion, I had no idea that theater could be applied to museums, and this was very fun for me to research on. So have a great day.